We've experienced so much hateful language, hateful speech. Such a negative environment has been created around the work that Planned Parenthood does. I can't believe that this isn't contributing to some folks, mentally unwell or not, thinking that it's okay to target Planned Parenthood or to target abortion providers.
So that is the head of Planned Parenthood in Colorado saying some words in this debate over abortion may have motivated this deadly shooting and a rampage at one of its clinics. Robert Louis Deere, described as a loner, the suspected killer, reportedly mentioning, quote, body parts during the incident in Colorado. Katie Pavlich, news editor, townhall.com, Fox News contributor. Marianne Marsh, former senior advisor to John Kerry, here to talk about this. And ladies, good morning to both of you. Katie, we've heard a lot over the weekend. Where are you on this?
Look, I think it's really important to first clear up that undercover videos and undercover investigative work of Planned Parenthood exposing them for unethical and inhumane behavior is not the equivalent of calling for murder. And I think that the CEO or the head of the Planned Parenthood in Colorado was referring to the calls over the past couple of months to defund Planned Parenthood here in Washington, D.C. and from pro-life groups around the country. But that, again, does not equate calling for murder. The guy who is now going to be in court today, we're going to hear more about his motives today in that hearing. He was a loner. He has a history of mental instability and criminal record.
He was nuts.
And he was crazy.
I mean, look at the trailer where he lived.
Well, exactly. And this idea that we're now trying to connect the pro-life movement to some kind of hateful rhetoric because one person with a history of mental illness and instability in terms of obeying the law who carried out horrific murders is somehow connected to the pro-life movement is absolutely asinine.
Okay, let me bring in Marianne on this. Where are you, Marianne?
Well, facts are a stubborn thing, and we've already heard from the killer what his intentions were by the words he spoke. Here's the problem. Republicans have demonized Planned Parenthood for months. They're about to launch its 5th investigation into it. And the fact is the health care provided to women by Planned Parenthood is just as legal under the law as it is to own a gun. The difference is Republicans fight tooth and nail to protect everybody's right, including a crazy person, to get a gun, but they do nothing to fight to protect a woman's right to health care. So if Republicans and pro-life people really wanted to do something, the first thing they could do is deny people who are mentally unstable, like this guy, the right to get a gun.
All right, so
that would be a step in the right direction.
Well, before we answer and go forward, I just want to listen to some of the reaction now, because as you know, Katie, it's a big on the trail today. First Huckabee, then Fiorina. Watch.
I think that's a little bit disingenuous on the part of Planned Parenthood to blame people who have a strong philosophical disagreement with the dismembering of human babies and with the selling of body parts to say that we would like to retaliate by sending some madman into a clinic to kill people.
What I would say to anyone who tries to link this terrible tragedy to anyone who opposes abortion or opposes the sale of body parts is this is typical left-wing tactics.
Katie, is it typical?
It is typical. Planned Parenthood is now using this situation as a way to shut up critics on abortion or their practices completely. They're using this to say if you criticize Planned Parenthood, you are the equivalent of someone wanting to come into a clinic and kill innocent people who are using their services. And look, if we want to talk about gun control, Marianne, as you mentioned in your last point, Colorado has the so-called universal background checks that the president is now calling for. Colorado passed new gun control laws 2 years ago. So there's nothing to do with gun control. This has to do with someone who's mentally unstable, who has a history of criminal activity going into a place and killing people. It's not connected to the pro-life movement. And Planned Parenthood, the facts remain, Planned Parenthood was selling baby parts, which is why Cecile Richards, who's a CEO nationally of Planned Parenthood, said they would stop that practice. So this isn't about women's health. This is about Planned Parenthood engaging in unethical
Marianne
activity.
Before we run out of time here now. Typical left-wing tactics. Respond to that, Marianne.
Again, facts are stubborn things. No one can stop anyone from saying anything. We all have the freedom of speech. The problem here is we do have the opportunity to stop mentally unstable people from having a gun. So
it's not enough just to say this guy was nuts. That's not doing it for you.
But Bill, we're here every couple of weeks talking about the one crazy person with a gun who shot up a church with people in a prayer group, who shot up an abortion clinic in
Name
Planned
one thing that
Parenthood,
would have stopped
who
this
shot
guy.
who shot up a movie theater. If we had the kind of well, first, you won't even take guns away from terrorists on a watch list. People who are on a terrorist watch list can buy a
What are we
gun.
talking
Crazy
about?
people can buy a gun.
right.
And now we've gone into a Planned Parenthood clinic which provides women's health care, and a police officer was killed, a mother was killed, an Iraq veteran who survived Iraq was killed in a place where women get health
Ladies,
care.
we are out of
That
time.
is
Decent
wrong.
debate. Thanks to both of you. I appreciate
Thanks,
the
Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
the fiery energy on both behalves. Thank you, Marianne, and thank you, Katie.